that the absolutely gold version of 1 million is a refined version of the original top seller in the fragrance game? Can I say that with a straight face? No, maybe it's because of the name of the gold bullion that's staring at me that makes me want to laugh a little bit. But in the same rate, one thing that is no laughing matter is this fragrance review coming up next for all of you. This thing is long been discontinued. And what I need to let you know is this thing worth seeking out? Fragrance review coming up next. YouTube fragrance family, welcome to another Worldoid fragrance review. Today I'm putting my nose on the house of Paco Rabanne and one of their flankers, one of their many flankers from the 1 million collection. This one dubbed 1 million absolutely gold. I mean, it does look like the original bottle. As you can see, we have some, almost like some gold paint in the back, so you don't see how much juice you have left on this one. A little bit of a change with the nameplate too. But Absolutely Gold was one of the earliest flankers to the original 1 million. Now, before I get into, of course, the meat and potatoes of the fragrance review, please take the time to subscribe down below and hit that bell so you can keep tabs on yours truly. Reviews coming in 2020 like an alarming rate right now. I'm trying to double my input from 2019. We'll see if I can hit that goal. I'm also all over social media. You can find me all over the place. You can utilize my, of course, my Arobes08 YouTube handle to find me on Facebook, Instagram, and of course Twitter. Talking about social media, talking about Facebook, I do have a Facebook fragrance group. Those things are hilarious, but at the same time, there's some jokes going in those groups. But at the same time, people are buying, selling. So I have my own Facebook group, which is called Fragrance Guru Nation. We're up to 17,000 members, which is unheard of. It's huge, and we're waiting for you to come join us and talk about fragrances, fragrance reviewers, new releases, stuff like that, so you can keep yourself in check with your fragrance game. Now let's go under the hood with Absolutely Gold. Release date was 2012. Concentrations Pure Parfum. The olfactory group, I would classify it as, these 1 millions, of course, classified under the leather, floral leather. The notes behind this fragrance, let's take a look at it. Up top, we have mandarin orange, we have cinnamon, and cardamom. In the mid, we have florals, so very generic. And in the back end, in the base notes, we have leather and vanilla. So the key notes to my nose would have to be the mandarin orange. So you are going to get that kick, that citrus kick from 1 million, Absolutely Gold. Also the leather, which is the backbone from the original, and rose as the floral. So let's remind me of this particular fragrance. It is my scent of the day today. I'm wearing this. So now it's time for me to dissect it. Let's go. Let's remind me of the introduction. 2 for my hand, 2 for the fragrance community. Not a bad atomizer on this. So 1 million, Absolutely Gold. Very polarizing, the original, very polarizing release. This one right here doesn't stray away too much from the original. I'm immediately hit with a floral take, a citrusy take, and leathery tones. The one thing with the Absolutely Gold, this release right here, everybody calls it the refined version of 1 million. I can see that. I'm not going to say that it's a tuxedo wedding day type of scent. However, I really feel like it still has a playfulness from the original 1 million. You can't get away from that. But it is a cleaned up version of the original 1 million. So if you really do like the DNA of 1 million, but at the same time you feel like you've grown out of it just a little bit, but you still would like something a little more refined, a little more cleaned up, this is your bet right here. So Absolutely Gold starts off like a true blue 1 million release. You can blindfold anybody that has really smelt 1 million that's in this fragrance game, and it would not take a genius to say this is from Paco Rabanne 1 million. Now, they may not say which release it is or which flanker it is, but they'll know. The DNA is right there from initial sniff. The changes are fairly minor in nature. from its best-selling brother, but Absolutely Gold does shine in a few aspects, and I can't wait to share that with you. So the introduction, let's start with what I smell, which is what the original is known for. And this is that synthetic blood orange citrus paired with a leathery tone with a cinnamon spice. This has it. This will be the same backbone in Absolutely Gold. The cinnamon is still present, but it is one of the major factors that gets kind of removed the most out of the original 1 million. The citrus here is more prominent up top. To note, it's a mandarin. The sweetness from the vanilla and the leathery tones are suede-like. They're all there. The rose will make its way to the primary stages fairly early in the development of Absolutely Gold, and it will dominate the actual dry down of this scent. There's a slight powdery aspect in Absolutely Gold, which shows up in the opening and continues to show itself in the dry down. I hate to say this, but it is a refined 1 million, and that could be a joke of some sort, as of course 1 million is known to be a little more juvenile. I feel like they cleaned up the sweetness in this one. I really feel like, again, when reviewers were saying this is a cleaned up 1 million, I was like, nah, come on guys, you can't say that. But here, I feel like the sweetness here has been cleaned up, and I really am, I like it. I really like this opening of Absolutely Gold. Now, stepping into the heart and the base of 1 million Absolutely Gold, like I said earlier, the heart to base is going to have more of a floral quality. Now, the florals in this particular fragrance, when you talk about the house of Paco Rabanne, you're not talking about, high authentic florals. You're going to get some synthetics, a lot of synthetics here. This is what their name is all about. Paco Rabanne is very synthetic fragrances. Now, that's not a bad thing. Obviously 1 million has done very, very well. I feel like the florals here with everything else that's put together, the balance is actually really, really good. I felt like the balance was really good in the original 1 million. I gave it some good marks way back when. And I feel like the density in this particular fragrance also is actually very good. You're going to get a dense fragrance. This is mostly a rosy and leather. Now, I got to pinpoint, the leather is more of a suede-like backbone with a vanilla-like sweetness. The citrus quality tries really hard to hang on for dear life with the scent here, but eventually fades away and loses some of the personality of the scent here, as I wish that citrus would actually kind of continue to push on to the scent. Some note breakdowns in this particular fragrance lists oud as a note in this scent. I don't get any of that, so to note, I don't at all. I felt this dry down has a certain smoothness to the scent, which can be attributed to the vanilla and leathery combo. There's not much moving parts in this particular release. If you really enjoyed the opening of this particular fragrance and you've enjoyed the original 1 million, there's a good chance that you're going to like the rest of this fragrance. The dry down is not going to lose you here. Overall, this one is dubbed as the mature 1 million of the group. I can see that, but at the same time, it still has its playful character. Calling this mature is a bit of a stretch. I was always a fan of the 1 million playful character, and I actually do like this release. And I feel, even though the changes are very subtle, at the same time, for someone that is dissecting this scent, I've put myself, I have, of course, the 1 million and 1 million Intense right here, and the Absolutely Gold, and I got the other ones, Lucky and Privé. But while dissecting this fragrance, I felt like there was enough changes that I would actually purchase this one and keep the 1 million in my collection. I can see people grabbing this, selling off the original 1 million. So if you like the original, you'll most likely like this. Is it different enough to own both? Probably not. Someone like me, yes. But I could see someone replacing or saying that, you know what, I'll stick with the original 1 million. I still like it. So let's get into ratings. Let's take a look at uniqueness and, of course, the scent being rated. So uniqueness, I'm going to give it 6 bottles out of 10. Obviously, the 1 million DNA has been copied to death. I still think Paco Rabanne has the crown, as no one truly improved the scent DNA. They may have copied it, but I don't think as a whole, projection, longevity, that performance of the Paco Rabanne 1 million lineup is fairly good. And I'm talking about this one, the original Paco Rabanne 1 million and the Intense version. They're actually pretty good. As far as the scent goes, I'm going to give it 8 bottles out of 10. Coming in with an open mind, it's so easy to trash the 1 million brand. I felt this one does exactly what I came to expect from it. You're giving me the absolutely gold treatment. The box is actually a little more high end. You got like that amouage kind of open up box, Tom Ford private blend type of look. Okay, a little bit of detail here to make it sexier. The price tag was a little higher, so I came to expect a little better, a little more refined. I wasn't expecting, the second coming of the top release or top selling fragrance, but they did what I feel like they were coming out to do with this one. So 8 bottles out of 10. Now let's take a look at performance and feedback. So my sprays, with this one, you would say, maybe the 1 million, you don't have to wear too much of it. I go 5, and I go the 1 spray on the chest, of course, 2 on the neck, 1 on each side like I would do here. I'm wearing a t-shirt today, so I'm gonna go inner elbows, and that kind of ruins my dry down. But hey, I'm fresh now. Yeah, that opening, I really actually do like this opening. So longevity, projection, compliment factor, let's go into that. Longevity, 9 bottles out of 10. Every time I wore this, 8 to 12 hours plus as far as the wearings go. I had no issues with longevity. Projection, 8 bottles out of 10. Above average, very good, very solid. I can't complain here. Compliment factor, I'm going to give it 5 bottles out of 10. And you'd be like, ooh, that's a little surprising. In 2019, this still does get compliments. Of course, this DNA, the 1 million DNA. And I felt that from this one, but it wasn't overly out there as far as the compliment factor. And the one thing with this particular fragrance that I could tell is if you overspray, people are going to start going like this. You're that guy in the room. So you got to be careful where you're going with this one. That was the only real complaint. People still do enjoy this DNA. People will come up to you and say 1 million. You'll get that. So that is maybe the little bit of a drawback in the compliment factor. Let's get into versatility. Age range. The age range with this one, I would have to say any age. I feel like this is one of those fragrances that it all depends where you are in your journey. Some people will be like, no, I'm not going to buy this. But others, like an older gentleman, can wear this for casual use, playful. You're going for a picnic, you're going for a barbecue, something like that. You want to wear a cologne that's kind of like playful. This is good for you. Teenagers, you're going to get a lot more wearing out of this kind of stuff. I obviously wouldn't really recommend a teenager to go and buy this. Why? Because it's discontinued. It's going to be hard to find, and you're going to pay a pretty buck to get it. So there's better alternatives for that. But the younger crowd, this would work well. I would say the best age range would be 20s to 30s. Seasons, I like this DNA. This DNA works well in fall, winter, and spring. I like that the florals kind of pop a little bit in the spring. I like that. Overcast, fall, it works very well. I love the sweetness from it in the fall. Night or day use, obviously you want to start gearing this kind of playful stuff more into nighttime, but at the same time, casual use, going to the mall, something like that, barbecues, picnics, stuff like that. You can wear this during the day too. So occasions. I've hit a few of them. Is this signature scent approved? Yeah, for the right person, it would be. Casual, yes. Formal, maybe for the younger folks that don't really have anything else, this could be like your signature scent. But other than that, I think I'm pushing it a little bit. Work appropriate? Not really. This is the type of scent that means to shout and get attention. And for me, workplace, to me, it doesn't compute. I don't want that kind of attention at work. So versatility, I'm going to give it 7 bottles out of 10. I feel like a solid casual use, versatile for the right person at the right age range. I feel like this could be worn quite a bit. Now let's take a look at value, cost, availability, price versus quality. Let's get into it. Bottle sizes available. What you see here is what you're going to get. They only released this in 1 bottle size. It was kind of like a limited edition special release from Paco Rabanne. It had I would say it's not like a 3-month limited edition for the summer type of thing, but I felt like it had a longer shelf life than that, but it had a limited release. So a 3.4 ounce bottle is what you're going to see. Pricing, it was running around when it was on shelves around $100 USD. Availability, it is discontinued. It was a limited release. So as far as pricing versus quality, what am I going to give it? I'm going to give it 6 bottles out of 10. The one thing about the 1 million lineup is if you like the scent from the opening and you like your scents that perform, This line is not going to disappoint. So that is one thing to bring up. I feel like obviously the quality, once you start looking at $100 USD or more, now you have a big range of fragrances that you can check out. I feel like this one, fairly good at 6 bottles out of 10. So let's end this thing. Let's take a look at positive, negatives to take away, and my final thoughts on Absolutely Gold. Let's go positively. Let's start with the positive with this one. The one thing is the blend. I feel like if you like the 1 million DNA, this is not going to stray away from it. You're not going to go, whoa, this is one from the 1 million lineup. Is it different enough from the original? Enough. I felt performance is always a big plus. You never know with these type of releases what's going to happen with performance. I feel like everything clicked together, and for the right person, this will do well for you. Negatives to take away. Not different enough in the fragrance game. I feel like, of course, the 1 million DNA is kind of overplayed. It's almost into the classic realm. It has moved on. I wear it from time to time, my original 1 million, this stuff and the others. I enjoyed it. You know, you can go see my review from back to 2009, 2010, and I feel the same way from 1 million. I felt like it was actually something that put Paco Rabanne back on the map. They were kind of getting lost way back at that time frame. I didn't know if they were going to be shot for dead, the brand, but they came back with that one and got their name back on the map. So my final thoughts on 1 million Absolutely Gold. So it's been a while since I've done a review on 1 million. I haven't done a full-fledged review on any of the flankers. The only fragrance that I actually did a review on was the original 1 million. I actually did a re-review on it on my channel. I haven't touched the Intense, Lucky, or Privé in regards to a full-fledged review. I did a first impression on some of them. So this is actually, it's been years since I've talked about this lineup. My overall thoughts on this one is the 1 million DNA is now officially kind of played out. Even Paco Rabanne's flankers to this DNA are way off the original DNA. They kind of went off the cuff. This was released at the height of its domination in the men's aisle, and I'm happy to own it. Do I feel it's worth looking out for in 2019? As much as I sang a lot of praise for this fragrance, it's not available. It's discontinued. People are going to ask an arm and a leg for it. So really, not really. It's great for a collector like me, but honestly, if you like the original, stick with the original. It's readily available. You can get it for around 50 and under, and it's easy to find. This one right here, unfortunately, not so much. Now to give my overall score, piece everything together in fragrance review and let you know how I thought about this. On a rating scale of 1 to 10, I would have to give Absolutely Gold 8 bottles out of 10. I felt like this was a worthy flanker from the house of Paco Rabanne and their 1 million lineup. They actually did very well with this release. Now, what would I recommend? Would I recommend you to purchase this, sample it, or forget about it? Obviously, not readily available. I would have to go into the forget about it pile just because of discontinuation and worth to a lot of you out there. You're not all collectors like me. You don't want to get the whole 1 million lineup. So unfortunately, a very, very solid release from the house that will obviously at the end of the day kind of get forgotten about. So now that you've heard my take on Absolutely Gold, and maybe it was your first time hearing about this flanker just because you're kind of new to this fragrance community, you didn't even know there was a flanker called Absolutely Gold. Now you know. But to the ones that do know about this particular fragrance, I'd love for you to comment below. Let us know the good, bad, and the ugly on this one. Is this a more mature, refined, cleaned up 1 million? Do you feel the same way as I did? Oh, now I'm going to leave you with a few takes from my social media. I asked everybody on social media what they thought about this particular fragrance, good, bad, and the ugly. I love to mix it up a little bit in the back end of this video, so keep it tuned in. As always, a great or poor fragrance will make a lasting impression. Choose your 1 million flanker wisely. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Have a good one.